So can you get a green card if you overstay your visa? I get this question all the time, and in this video I'm going to address this question, and we're going to cover some topics about how do you know you overstay, what do you do if you overstay, are there any solutions to come back to status after overstaying your visa. If you're interested in any of these topics, I'll see you on the other side. Hello everybody, and welcome back to our Immigration channel. This is a place where you get the most up-to-date immigration news, immigration updates, and everything else that you need to make your immigration journey less stressful. My name is Sapochnick, and I'm an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California. And this video will address the question, can you get a green card if you overstayed your visa? We'll talk about solutions, how do you know that you overstayed, and how to get back to status after overstay. So if you're interested in this topic, make sure you watch this video all the way until the end. Before that, if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube can recommend this video to more people just like you. So typically many immigrants come to the United States lawfully. They use visas like student visas, tourist visas, work visas, but sometimes it happens that they overstay. Either they lose their job and they're not able to get another job, so their visa lapses, they fall out of school, they cannot go back to school, so they overstay, or they come as a visitor and they're not able to leave the country and they remain beyond the term of their visa. Other immigrants that I see in our practice enter the United States unlawfully. They come here for whatever reasons, but they enter here unlawfully without inspection. And those immigrants are going to have different options to be able to legalize themselves, which we'll talk about it in a few minutes in this video. So let's start by addressing the issue of how do you know that you overstayed your visa? If you came here lawfully as a student or on a work visa or on a tourist visa, you know that when you enter the United States, the officers will stamp your passport with an entry stamp, but they also will log in your I-94 records on the CBP online website. And you can get a copy of your I-94 by logging into the website by putting your passport number, your name, and the date when you enter the United States. The I-94 card will have the expiration date of your status inside the United States. It's different than the visa, because you may have a visa for 5 years to come as a student, but you're not allowed to stay in the United States for 5 years. The duration of stay in the United States will be determined by the CBP officer at the port of entry. Sometimes they're going to give you 2 years, 3 years, depending on different factors, the length of your passport, the duration of your course, if you come as a student, if you come as a worker, the duration of your approval notice on your form I-797. So there are different factors. The point is that it's always important for you to check what is the date of entry that's stamped on your passport, but also go log in online and see what is the expiration of your I-94, because there are many cases where CBP officers make mistakes and they give you dates that are either too long or too short, and it's up to you to monitor that information. Now that you know how to check the duration of stay in the United States, it's important to understand how you overstay. If you overstay beyond the duration on your I-94 form, you're considered to be out of status. If you overstay more than 6 months on the term that states on the I-94 form, you could be barred for 3 years from coming back to the United States. If you overstay by more than a year on the expiration date of your I-94, you could be barred from coming back to the United States for 10 years. And this is what is called the 3 to 10 year bars to entry to the United States. If you enter the United States on the visa waiver program, under the ESTA program, you're only allowed to stay here for 90 days. There are no extensions typically. During COVID, we had some exceptions. We could get satisfactory departure applications so people could stay longer. But typically, if you overstay the 90 days, you're also considered to be out of status. And finally, let's talk about illegal entry. If you enter the United States without inspection, where you go either jump the fence or come smuggled in a car or any other way where a CBP officer did not inspect you, you're considered to be somebody who entered without inspection. Somebody who entered without inspection has very few options to legalize their status inside the United States compared to somebody who came here legally and then overstayed their visas. And I'll explain that in a few minutes in this video as well. And so if you came here unlawfully, there are ways for you to legalize yourself. So for example, if you marry a US citizen, you're not going to be able to do the process from inside the United States because you didn't come here with inspection. You're not eligible for adjustment of status, even if you're married to a US citizen, but you could be eligible for consular processing, where your application will be handled at the US Embassy in your home country. But for you to be able to come back, you're going to need some waivers. You're going to need a waiver to allow you to come back. The most common waiver is a 601 waiver. There's a 601A or a regular 601. We've done quite a few videos about those waivers, and we have a link in the description of this video about what those waivers are. But typically, it's a waiver based on hardship to a US citizen spouse, and once that waiver is approved, you'll be able to come back to the United States once you attended your appointment overseas. The reason they do that is because people that came here unlawfully are not eligible to adjust their status inside the United States, even if they're married to a US citizen. So another question comes up is, who is allowed to adjust their status inside the United States even if their visa already expired? So they came here legally, but their visa is expired. Typically, if you're an immediate relative of a US citizen, you are allowed to adjust your status inside the United States. Now, who are these immediate relatives of US citizens? Those are spouses of US citizens, children under 21 of US citizens, and parents of US citizens. Those three categories are allowed to adjust their status inside the United States even after they overstayed their visa. So if you're married to your citizen, your spouse could file for you even if you overstayed your tourist visa, your work visa, even if you overstayed your ESTA, as long as you have not left the country and triggered those 3 to 10 year bars, as long as you stayed inside the country and now you're married to a US citizen, you're going to be able to adjust your status safely without paying any penalties and without needing to do any waivers. It's really important to understand that, because if an applicant did depart the United States at any time, even after overstay, and then re-enter the United States illegally, then they are not qualified anymore for this adjustment of status. They're going to have to do this whole process through the US Embassy, as I mentioned that before. Now, another question that comes up is, can you travel outside of the country if you came here and overstayed your visa and now you're going through the process of adjustment of status? The answer is yes, but only if you apply for a travel document advance parole. If you leave the country, as I mentioned before, without a special travel permission, you're not going to be able to enter, your case will be canceled, and you're going to be subject to the 3 to 10 year bars. So it's very important to apply for advance parole before you leave the country. So the bottom line is that getting a green card after overstay is definitely complicated, but it's doable. It's doable if you follow the right procedures and you know who qualifies for what. Therefore, it's very important to speak to a qualified immigration attorney to give you all the information and explain to you what you qualify, what you're eligible for, and what is the right path to take. If you enter the United States unlawfully, your options are definitely more limited, but you still have some solutions to still getting your green card if you're married to a US citizen or you are an immediate relative of another US citizen. Therefore, once again, it's important to speak to a qualified immigration attorney that can give you all the options, whether you entered legally or illegally. Let me know if you have any questions about the information I just provided. Post the questions in the comments below. And if you need help with any of your immigration matters, text me right here, 619-483-4549. I'm here for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in our next video.